In this video, we will be solving an equation of the form log base b of a equals c. Okay, and for this, we need to recall how we convert a logarithm to an exponential. So if I have something of the form log base a, or base b, excuse me, of a is equal to c, I can use this method to change it into an exponential. Okay. Call it the circle method, changing it to an exponential. So it would be b to the power of c equals a. Okay, and if you want to change it back from an exponential into a logarithm, you can use the same circle method like this. Okay, and it would be log. What's the base? What's b? It's the first thing. What's the inside? A. And what's it equal to? The last thing, c. So you can go back and forth that way. Okay. So let's do this first one. So what we're going to do is change this to an exponential. I'm going to start here, go across to that -3, and then come back to the 1 over 64. Okay, so that will give us x to the -3 power equals 1 over 64. Okay, so this can be solved in a few different ways, actually. Here's one way we could solve this. If we realize that 64 is the same thing as 4 to the third power, 64, okay, we can rewrite that. So x to the -3 equals 1 over 4 to the third power. And the reason I do that is because this side has exponents, so I'm trying to get the same exponents on this side. Okay, remember that if you want to bring something that's in the fraction up to the top or from up down to the bottom, you have to change its sign. So I can bring this 4 up here, but I have to change the exponent to a negative since it's positive. Okay, so that will give me x to the -3 is equal to 4, because it's on top now, to the -3. Okay, and since both of them have the same exact exponent, then x has to be equal to 4. Okay, another way of doing this is that you could, let's do it over here, you could raise both sides to the -1/3. So let me do that over here to the side. I'll only do it once. Okay, so if I have x to the -3 equals 1 over 64, if I raise this to the -1/3 power, remember, you multiply exponents here. So if I multiplied -3 times -1/3, I would end up getting just x to the 1, or just x. Okay, so if I have to do that to the other side as well. So raise this side to the -1/3. And this, you probably want to use your calculator. Okay, so put 1 over 64, and I could raise it to the -1 over 3. And there we go, get an answer of 4. So another way of doing that if you want to do it that way. All right, let's look at the next one. So we're going to change this by doing this, change it to an exponential. Okay, so it'll be x to the power of 1/2 equals 10. Okay, so remember that when you have a 1/2 power, that is a square root. So this thing is the same thing as the square root of x is equal to 10. And you get rid of square roots by squaring them. So I'll square both sides. A square and a square root cancel, leaving us x, okay, equals 100. And you don't necessarily have to change this to a square root. I just wanted you to see it that way. If I raise this, like I'll do it over here, x to the 1/2, if I raise that to the 2 power, and also raise the 10 to the 2 power, remember, you multiply exponents. So 1/2 times 2 is 1, so you still get x equals, and 10 squared is 100. Okay, let's look at the next one. So use the circle method, change it into an exponential. So it's 81 to the 1/2 equals x. Okay, recall that the 1/2 is the square root of 81, so this one's pretty solvable right now. It's just x is equal to the square root of 81, which is 9 equals x. Okay, and likewise, you could have done the 81 to the 1/2. You could have squared it on both sides to get rid of that, but And that's actually going to be more trouble than it's worth, because you have to square the x too, and that gives you x squared. X squared equals 81, and you might see that. Oh, what number squared gives you 81? It's going to be 9 or -9, but we only use the positive version because it's a logarithm. Okay, so either way, you get x equals 9. Let's do one more. Okay, so use the circle method. Here we go. So 1,000 to the 1/3 equals x. Okay, so like the half is a square root, the third is a cube root. So this would be a cube root of 1,000 equals x. Okay, and your answer is going to be 10, because 10 times 10 is 100 times another 10 is 1,000. So it is going to be 10. And if you want to confirm that in the calculator, I will do that. Okay, so here we go. Third root of 1,000 equals 10. Okay, and that's it.